everybody to this next episode of Cash Flow Bros, where passive income makes massive income. It's myself, Malik Carter, and my partner.
My name is Justin Smith, also known on IG as JES Capital Investments.
And today is a very special one. We have a young lady that I met recently through Instagram. She said something, and I wanted to talk about it. We never got a chance to do it live, but we're going to talk about it here on this episode. But we have Alexis Lee. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here with you all today.
And listen, this one we should. Alexis has been stirring up the pot lately with a lot of your posts.
All my clickbait, they say.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they tell me it is.
It's
my clickbait. That's what they say. It's really, it's my thoughts at when I'm laying in the bed at 3 a.m. eating hot Cheetos. I usually come up with my best post then. So
at 3 a.m.
Yeah, usually in the middle of the night.
So what we'll do is, I know someone on the post was questioning your record and your business acumen. So please tell the folk what you do, your main income as far as.
Sure. Yeah. Of course, people on Instagram, of course, you could not have accomplished anything. It's all scams. No, I'm a real estate investor. I started out in 2016. That's when I had a shift of in careers. I was working. I've been working in corporate since 2004. And when 2016 came, I was in the hair industry. I owned 3 hair stores. We had like 36 employees, making a ton of money, but I was like completely and utterly depressed. I was at my lowest. So I sold my shares in the company to my business partner. I broke up with my boyfriend. I sold my house, and I moved in my parents' basement. And from then, I had 2 properties at the time, and I built that up to 26. I think now I sold one. Picked up 2 more. I don't even know how many I have now. Yeah. I be trying to tell people, I don't know the exact number. I think I have 20, 25, and 28 doors. I don't know.
Ooh. And what period of time?
So 4 years. So that was in 2016. I moved out of my parents' basement this past May 2021. So about 4.5 years.
Able to pick up 26 doors. That's a huge accomplishment, and that's more period of time.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was sacrifice. Mm-hmm. I took pretty much. I still worked my corporate job. I was making over 6 figures, so I was able to decrease all of my expenses. I cut out a lot of stuff. Only thing I didn't cut out was travel, because that's really important to me for my mental sanity. I got to go somewhere once a quarter. I got to get a passport stamp once a quarter.
Once a quarter, you got to get
a
passport stamp.
I have to have a stamp. If I don't have a stamp, I'm not happy. So, and I can tell when it's about time for me to get one, because I start getting an attitude, everything is a problem. So
does it have? You can't just go to a nice beach.
I can, but I really like a stamp. It's just better. I need to go through customs, and I'm gonna feel so much better. I'm just gonna be cool. So
you got clear?
I do. I got clear. I'm getting my global pre-check, so that's cool. Okay, Amex is.
No. Yes. Listen, we're not gonna give them a commercial, but
okay. I'm not gonna promote it, but
we're not gonna give a commercial.
Man, those perks is there.
Listen, no, they definitely do include clear and global entry.
Yeah, they do.
So,
yes.
Sure. So let me ask you this. So I was interested in the hair care industry for a long period of time, right? Mm-hmm. I was a party promoter in Durham, North Carolina, in college. Okay. And I was cutting classes one day. I went to the club in the daytime. It was just me and the owner sitting there drinking and watching stuff like ESPN on the big screen, right? So this cat came in, and this is North Carolina, so this is pre everybody got white, gold, and platinum and diamonds on, and this was this. So this is probably in 01.
Okay.
Right. He came through Durham nobody in Durham was like that. He came through. Had a conversation, couldn't find out he was in the hair care business, cool. Here in Atlanta, and he said that he delivered hair, delivered hair care products.
Oh, okay.
That was his business, and then he broke the entire business down, the different, a white price and black price, Chinese price, as far as buying stuff wholesale.
Yeah.
Did you kind of experience a similar price differences in what you're buying?
Yeah, I mean, of course. we got in. It moved really, really quickly when I was in. We started selling hair, and it all started from me and my business partner were on a cruise, and like every person we saw on that cruise, their weave was so bad.
The e-commerce business we're talking about.
No, this is before I got into real estate.
Okay.
And so this was back in 2011, and everybody's weave was bad. So then we started buying hair wholesale, like did research, said wholesale. We were like, let's just sell hair. And it grew so fast till I walked in my house one day from picking my daughter up from school. We'll never forget it. And my whole living room, my kitchen, and my dining room had hair orders on the floor. That's when we knew it was time to get a physical location. So we got a store here in Atlanta. Then we opened up one in Jacksonville and Birmingham. You know, it grew that way. But when I say it's like a target on your back, it's like a target on your back. And I never felt comfortable. I never did. I mean, we had people drive cars through our store. You know, we've had our employees held at gunpoint. It was just too much. Well, it was too much for me.
I mean, you know what? A lot of time, like the black products, you know, are like the ones like Rite Aid, like locked in the case.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, so maybe, I guess when you're selling hair, people are, okay, we've paid this much money in hair, so they probably haven't have that much money.
Man, it turned into being like the new drug game. Like dudes wanted to just sell, we don't need to sell, we sell hair now. Like that's how people were pushing it, you know? And so, you know, it was just the height of a lot of people getting into the industry. So it just became a lot of eyes, especially on some of the more successful people here in Atlanta. So it was just too much.
And plus Atlanta has been like, you know, the black hair like mecca for
that's what they say,
for decades. You know, they had like Dudley's was here and like everything else.
Yeah,
they still do
Barner Brothers, all that.
They still do the hair show here.
Yeah, they still do Barner Brothers.
That was like that was the hit back in the day. You know about that, Doug?
Nah, I don't. Actually, but I was thinking, I want to take a step back to what you said a couple seconds ago about the sacrifice. You said so you just moved out of your parents' house. What, in 2021?
Yeah, in May. Okay. Yeah.
And almost not because you had to sacrifice. You sacrificed, it seemed like, for a good period of time as you built your portfolio.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it was pretty much me taking a step back and saying, I dumped all of my money into real estate and stocks. That was it. If I had $5,000, $4,000, $3,000 extra, it went into buying either a property or it went into the stock market. And that's what I realized was it all kind of just stemmed from being a single parent. And my daughter's father is not in her life at all. And I was like, you know, probably when she gets older, she's probably going to have to deal with some of those issues. So what she's not going to have to do is worry about money. And like made it my mission to say, you know what, we're going to always be good regardless if my parents are here to help, my brother is here to help, which is a large support system that I have. But I was like, she's going to be good. I'm not going to have to depend on anything. She's going to have her college paid for. She's going to have properties. And I'm going to do what I have to do now to make the sacrifices to make sure I set her up right. And that was like my whole internal mission of what came on about me just buying real estate. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm set out to get a certain amount of properties. But as I was going on, it came into being like, okay, I'm going to buy this one. That's going to bring me in $600. Oh, that's going to replace my phone bill. That's going to replace that's going to take her tuition. That's almost her tuition, you know, half of it a month. But, you know, it became me like saying, okay, I'm going to pick up this house so I can replace a bill. I can replace a bill. I can replace a bill. And then that's when I got into Airbnb and was like, oh, no, I can replace all my bills with one Airbnb. And when I realized that, it was like, oh, like the game kind of changed for me.
So I mean, we talk about this all the time, that you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they don't want to sacrifice because they want that certain lifestyle, or they're nervous about being uncomfortable. So it seems like the sooner a person can be comfortable with being uncomfortable, in your instance, you can get to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, I put up a post telling people that, you know, I lived in my parents' basement for 4.5 years, and I was able to go from 2 properties to 26 properties. And on Twitter, you know, Twitter is like hate central. Like, they're going to hate any shit you do on Twitter. They hate it. Like, you couldn't possibly. So then it turned into being, oh, well, you're lucky, and the only reason you did it is because you had a parents' basement to go to. And not that I discount being able to go to my parents' basement. I feel I'm very fortunate. It's not past me to say that, I got parents I can call and be like, look, I'm coming home because I'm trying to build my portfolio. And they understand it. But then what I tried to turn it into is having them understand that, no, even if you don't have a parent's basement to go to, it's the sacrifice that you make, because you can always decrease your expenses to save more money to invest. You don't got a parent's basement, then you need to get 3 roommates. You need to go find a room to rent. You don't need to be in a $1,500 apartment a month that you can't really afford. You don't need to be in a $600,000 house that you can't afford. Decrease your expenses, and then you can do the same thing. It's not the basement. It's not the basement. That's just my path.
Right. And so my very first viral statement that I ever said, I was actually speaking at Matt's event in New York years ago before all the other stuff. And, before he went crazy. But he said, so one of the things people ask, how do they find money for their deals? And I said, stop buying shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have the money, just stop buying shit. It's like, yes, you have the BMW, but when you understand that's the income ratio, you can make $100,000, but your debt income ratio, if you buy a property, is over 50%. Nobody's gonna lend you any money. Doesn't matter how much you made.
Yeah.
Right. And that was my very first ever oral statement. But, I don't want it to go over people's head that you really just gave them the cheat code, like more than anything else. We could stop the show. It's over with. Right. She said, get your debt down. Right. Control your expenses. Invest in real estate, right, and reinvest the profit into the stock market. There's nothing else more to say, right? Like, seriously, there's nothing else more to say.
It really is that simple, though.
It really is that simple, as you just said. And that's really those. I say this all the time. Those 2 core things. Paper assets, which are stocks and things of that nature, and hard assets like real estate are just true foundations of building wealth. Period. Right, and then really put it on steroids. You can have an income-producing business. Yeah, and that's the key: an income-producing business, not just to have a business that's not producing income. Right?
You know what? And I tell people this, and here's what everybody's gonna come back and say: well, that's good because y'all already have money. Or you have money. Well, I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing to start from. So even if I decrease, I'm still in the negative. Here's exactly what you need to do. You need to make more money. And it's not that damn hard. You need to make more money. You need to make more money. You don't make enough money now to invest. Your expenses, even if you are living at the very bottom of your expenses, right? And you're still in the negative, then you need to make more money. And there's way too much information and too many ways for people to make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. I just don't subscribe to it. You at that point, and people be mad, you lazy. That's just it.
You lazy.
You're lazy.
So I think it's a combination, right, of maybe some are lazy and some maybe just don't know. But you gotta have to kind of figure it out. And what they try to do is educate people. Yeah. Now, if they have education and they still
after they've been educated, yes.
Right.
Some people just don't know.
Yeah, but I think for the most part, man, I think that people just gotta figure it out. And what I say this all the time is that a lot of people really don't want to be rich. They just want to be richer than their friends and family. Yeah. Right. And so if their friends and family are doing kind of okay, as long as the joint's like a little bit more than okay,
they think it's all right.
Like I even use that like as a realtor when I take buyers out. I don't sell people. I never sell people on the house itself. Like, how's it make you feel, man? Your mama's gonna love it when she see you in this house. We had the cookouts. Everybody gonna come to your house and like, hey, you made it. Like, and that sells them more than the actual functionality
of the house. Yeah.
I can sell them a dump with a crazy yard.
And then in turn to like, I think it's very valid points to that. But I saw somebody say, and it struck with me, that a lot of people who don't have money or didn't, once they get money, we're so conditioned to being poor. A lot of people we're conditioned to being poor.
Me too.
And it's hard to get out of that condition.
I mean, even right now, it's hard for me to turn my heat up. It's hard for me to turn the heat up. Yeah. So yeah, I agree 100%.
Like we're so conditioned to thinking that we just have to struggle. And I saw an interview that I get the little baby and the baby mixed up, whichever one. The baby, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not the one that was on the stage. Is it little baby? I don't know. One of them dudes. But he was saying how he from Atlanta. And, he said, I grew up in the trap. And he was like, really, when he got out of the trap, he realized the trap is mentally. It's not where he physically was. And that's the truth. A lot of people are trapped. They really are in the trap, even though they might not still be in the trap. They are mentally conditioned to living that certain way. And I feel like all we can do is keep putting out information, keep talking to as many people as I can, keep helping as many people. My mission is definitely to help single mothers to understand, look, you don't have to struggle. You don't have to do this. You don't have to worry about getting no child support payment. I ain't worried about none of that. You know what I'm saying?
So let's do this, right? I'm gonna get into your business. Before we get to the business, let me get in your business. If you're okay with answering this question,
I'll answer whatever.
So for someone, so being an attractive woman that's successful, were you making six figures when you met your daughter's father at that time period?
Yes.
All right. So how does a woman with all of that, right? How do you end up with someone who doesn't want to be in their child's life?
Well, I can't really say what I want on a podcast.
This is us.
Can I curse? No.
Yeah, you could go in. But not seriously, though. I just think that...
Here's what the real truth is, and I put the accountability on myself, so maybe this will help somebody.
Okay.
When you are broken and depressed, you gravitate to other broken and depressed people. Period. That's what it was. I was financially stable, mentally, spiritually, completely broken. And trying to find someone outside of, I was trying to get over somebody else to find somebody else. Terrible decision, but a lot of people go through that in their life. I learned from it, thank goodness, and was able to stop that cycle and figure out, what, this isn't what I want for my life, for my child, and, I'm going to move forward, so.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, because I think that, I say all the time that women make terrible choices in men. Like, I think we need to go back to arranged marriages. we got to bring it back. Women, I mean, including me. Like, I'm not going to discount myself. Like, at the time.
Are you shitty?
No, listen.
Okay, no.
I was.
No, you're not.
I was at a point.
At one point?
My wife and I got together, like, I definitely wasn't who I am now.
Yeah.
Like, she got lucky. I evolved. I'm saying,
good.
if I was the same person that I was then, who knows? Or maybe I got lucky that I evolved.
Yeah.
I'm saying, but one of us got lucky that we.
And I love my dad to death, but when him and my mom in the beginning of their marriage, when I was younger, I mean, my dad was shitty. Just real shitty. Thank God they've been together 40 years, but think of the things my mother went through, just to get to that. So I think a lot of times we pick people on their potential. And
I don't think I had any back then. I mean, listen,
no potential. You was just shitty.
No. Listen,
real life.
I would say this. I met her. I had 3 jobs. Like, I'm talking about like 3 straight, substitute teacher, like 9 to 3. I was a mortgage loan officer from 5 to 8:30.
Okay.
And then I had an overnight job at the Warren unit where I when the police arrested somebody, I had to fax the warrant up to the prison.
Okay.
I did those 3 jobs, so I got like very few hours of sleep a day.
Well, she probably saw your potential in that.
And working, yeah. But everything else, I don't know.
But here's the thing, and I think my wife chose me because of potential. Because truth be told, I ain't have nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I was literally renting my house out via Airbnb, and she didn't know this probably for like the first 6 months, right? And I was.
Ooh, how'd you keep all that up?
Listen, I had to. Like, I rent my house out, and then the properties I would renovate, I had like literally an air mattress. I was,
You trapped her.
Yeah, but she didn't know. And I was just like, listen, I'll be tired. I don't feel like going home, but I had strangers living in my home. So she didn't know that for like literally the first 6 months. I was embarrassed. Like, who would want to date somebody that was sleeping in abandoned, dirty homes?
Yeah.
Right? And so I was kind of embarrassed, right? So it was until probably about 6 months later, she was like, her friend, some guy, did Airbnb, and he was making all this money. I was like, oh, yes. Like, she knows about it. I won't be a weirdo telling her I have strangers sleeping in my home.
Yeah.
Right? So I told her, and then she sees my mentality a little bit, so it really just evolved after that.
So really, what you're saying is at the beginning.
But because she was making more money than me.
So that just tell me at the very beginning that you was like, yo, I gotta lay it down because I need somewhere to sleep tonight. So I'm about to go. I'm about to go in. He was like, I'm about to go in.
He trapped her. He trapped her.
He drank ginseng on the way over.
But no, that's the early stages, so I was finding myself.
You were still finding yourself.
Yeah, so listen down. So let's get back to it. So I made a post. I just made a post, and people are going. I didn't even read it. People are going in on me. But so we're going to get back to your post.
I want to go back to her post too.
I'm gonna pull the post up.
Oh God.
I'm gonna pull your post up, right? And so
which one?
Well, I'm gonna read the one that
the landlord one.
Oh, the landlord one.
The landlord. Yeah, we gotta pull it. I should have pulled it up soon. So yeah, you have. Thing is, everybody. I think Matt shared it. Lee shared it. A lot of people reshared this post, and they had a lot of things to say about it. I'm trying to read it verbatim.
And to my point about that post, I don't raise rent on my tenants. I haven't raised rent because I think I like the quality, right? So I think if someone falls on hard times, I don't like the turnover. So if I make it my pricing very affordable, good quality product, where they can pay. I don't always penalize if they're 10, 15 days late, especially with COVID going on.
Yeah,
I think it makes sense. So I actually agreed with your point.
Yeah.
On that, I just watch it from the sidelines because you hit the comment, then every alert it was blowing up.
I think I spent the whole day. I missed a lot of people's posts because I really did want to comment on people's, like when people reposted it. It's a tweet. And you can't really give a detailed explanation in a tweet.
All right, so let me just read the infamous tweet / repost. This is from Alexis Lee RE on Instagram.
I was eating Funyuns that night. I never thought. Who knows?
So on Twitter, Alexis Lee RE, Instagram, Alexis Lee Real Estate, and Alexis says, "Landlords, if your tenants have been paying on time through this entire pandemic and you still raise rents, you ain't shit."
Yeah.
She said it and she meant it.
I did mean it.
And she set the entire landlord industry on fire with that one tweet. And then I reposted it and people went in. So yeah, so tell us, so you were eating Cheetos at 3 a.m, hot Cheetos at 3 or Funyuns at 3 a.m. And so you made this comment, and was it meant to be controversial, or you just really felt that at the moment?
Oh, I really feel everything I post. People say it's clickbait, but it's really not. It's really the stuff that just comes to my head, and I 100% will always stand by anything I post, regardless. I still stand by landlords raising rent during COVID. And I think what happened on Instagram is I realized what happened. You know what happened? It brought out the broke landlords, people who ain't got no money.
No reserves.
No reserves and no cash flow. I could tell by they got a raise because the taxes went up. They got a raise because the water is higher. Inflation is killing them clearly. Yeah. So they have to go up on the rent. No, you going up because you don't have good properties and you don't make enough money in your cash flow to be able to cushion it. And that's just really what it comes down to.
That net number is not high enough.
It's not. It ain't. Because people are cash flowing like $100, $50, $175 a month. And you know what? That doesn't sustain you.
A lot of $300, $400 a month, cash flow. But people, I personally, by the time your heater go, by the time whatever. But people probably shouldn't listen to me because I don't raise rent on my tenants either. I mean, if you've been good to me, I rate on the bad ones. I raise the rent once on life for sure. The ones that whatever. But I have tenants that some do their own repairs. Yeah, they've been there for 7, 8 years. I could have raised the rent, but why make it? In my opinion, why make it difficult for them? I would rather have them in there paying what the rent actually is, versus have them move out, try to get somebody paying higher with the unit turnover.
I don't want to turn over properties.
Because anytime you have turnover, guys, for those who are out there, it's a cost associated with that. It's going to cost you on average, I would say $1,500 to $2,000 per tenant turnover. right? You're going to have
shoot, and these nasty tenants, you got paint,
the house,
carpet, floors.
Yeah, it's going to cost probably a minimum of $2,000.
Yeah, minimum.
Probably the paint gonna be $2,000. Really?
Yeah, really.
Minimum of $2,000. But you know I'm a GC, so I make it happen.
I mean, I turned over a property and it cost me like, the tenant was only there a year. She got arrested. Domestic stuff. It was just a mess. And so, you know, she had to leave because she locked up. She gonna be there for a while. So she's actually still there, you know. So I put like $7,000 in just turning it over, redoing the floors, paint. It's 2 holes in the door, replace the doors, just keeping up the upkeep. Would I rather her just stay there with her little kids tearing up the house? Yeah, probably. You know, stay there 4 or 5 years before I have to do this. Yeah, exactly. You know, 1 year, that doesn't do good. Like, I don't want to do that. And I really was not saying never raise rent, right? Our position is we don't typically raise rent on people. But I'm not saying never do it. I'm saying you're going to do it right now and we still in the middle of a pandemic.
Right.
Like, you're a shitty person. I don't care.
I think a lot of them were talking to like, listen, they got all the pandemic relief. They got extra unemployment. They got extra money. So instead of buying crab legs, give me the money.
I get that. But here's the thing. I was only speaking for tenants that have been paying on time because really they could have just stopped and you would have been screwed. They could have just said, we ain't paying no more.
I have one of those.
Yeah. And none of mine did that. Everybody has paid. They've all paid on time. And I just don't feel like me saying, hey, y'all, I'm about to raise this rent because taxes went up $80 or $180 makes sense to me. And I don't even feel like morally it's the right thing to do now.
So do you prefer Airbnb to long-term rentals?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I've never done Airbnb. It seems like there's just so much extra work.
It's not. It's really not. If you really get your processes in place, it's not a lot of extra work. I got good cleaners. I have a good handyman. I have a storage unit. So I'm stocked up on supplies for at least 3 months always. I also have extra like tables, painting. I have extra stuff. So like the most I have to do is send a text message. All our messages are automated, door codes automated. It's not much to do unless something really just like goes wrong, which can happen, which has happened. But you know, you just roll with it and keep it moving.
Yeah, no. So the Airbnb we staying at, I think, you know, I'm not 100% positive because like the hood here looks different than Philly. Philly, you know who you are. I'm saying here, not so much.
I saw your pillows and I was like, I think I know whose Airbnb that is.
Okay. So listen. So
I ain't gonna call them out. I think I know whose Airbnb is.
No. But ultimately, so what we're gonna do is, I want to get you to, you know, teach others how to automate the Airbnb process.
Okay.
Right. And we always talk about rental. I have one I'm going to do soon.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk more about that. But you do have a class coming up. Are you going to do your classes frequently?
Yeah. So I've been doing in-person classes, virtual classes. My last in-person class is on Saturday. It's sold out. And then I'm going to be moving into doing more online stuff. So I'm going to be doing more webinars, more virtual classes, just to expand my reach and make it a lot easier for people who want to take classes with me. Because a lot of people have been flying down, but there's a lot of people who just can't, who want to get the education. So I'm going to start doing some more online stuff. Yeah.
No, so how do people get a hold of you? Get in contact?
So people can always follow me. I'm Alexis Lee Real Estate on every platform. You can find me Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Alexis Lee Real Estate. Website is alexisleerealestate.com.
All right.
I'm there.
So one of my last questions is I wanted to ask you about the Airbnb.
Okay.
Like what type of style of homes are you? Are they 1 bedroom, studios, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms? What do you find works best for you? Yeah,
so it depends on location, basically. I usually gravitate to 3-2s. Now one I've done is just a 2-1, but the area supports that, so I didn't mind doing a 2-1 over there. But mostly 3-2s, single family homes. I own all of mine. I'm not anti-arbitrage. People think I am. I'm not. I'm arbitrage the right way though. Mm-hmm. I'm not like with this scam and shit that they doing with these apartments and condos and all of that. It's too much. You putting your credit profile at risk, and I just don't like that. Mm-hmm. But and I don't think that's smart investing. And if you want to be an investor, you got to be a smart investor, right? Mm-hmm. If you just want to make a couple dollars, whatever, that's fine. But I like 3-2s and I like single family homes. Okay. I like them to have either a deck or a porch. There's different things that I look for, and most of the time I'm renovating them. So it's things that I add on to ensure that one, my property, when I do get ready to sell it or refinance it, is going to give me maximum profit, return on investment. And then two, can command more money a night with Airbnb. So I like to either do 8 to 10 guests. This 2-bedroom one is going to hold 6 guests. So,
2-bedroom holding 6 guests.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have 2 beds. You have, I guess you're going to have a pull-out couch. How are you getting 6 guests in a 2-bedroom?
Look, let me tell you something. I was about to do 8.
Break that down, please.
But I was like, the bathroom's going to be kind of tight.
I might get my notepad out here.
So, 2 queens. Each bedroom has a queen in it.
Okay.
I have a full-size pull-out couch, and then we do air mattress. And so that'll give me 8 if I do 8, but I'm only going to do 6. Or if I really wanted to do 8 in one of the bedrooms, I already have it in storage. I could do a double full-size
pull-out
bed.
Couch.
No, a bed. So I like to do double beds with full on top of bunk beds, but full-size bunk beds. So one of my Airbnbs that has 10, it's a 3-2. One room has 2 full-size bunk beds in it.
Wow.
And then I have the pull-out couch and then 2 rooms with queens. And so that's how I do a 10 in that one. This one I was going to do, I still might push 8, but it's a smaller. So a 2-1, of course, is going to be smaller. So I felt like it was too tight with the full-size double bunk beds in it.
Are you charging additional fees for, let's say, 3 guests, but the 4th, 5th, 6th guests additional?
Yeah, of course.
You are, okay.
Yeah. So for my 3-2s, anything over 6 is an additional $15 a night per guest.
Per guest.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So.
I learn more about Airbnb.
It's good. I have we had a couple of our condo and our studio on the one in Point Breeze. So the studio, and it's doing like, if I was to do that with a market rate tenant, I'm actually getting more money. So it's producing like it's almost like a 4-bedroom home.
Yeah.
Type of cash flow. It's just a studio. And me personally, I like smaller homes with my Airbnbs because it's easier for me to furnish. So I like the studios, 1s or 2 bedrooms,
Well, if you furnish 1 bedroom or 2 bedrooms, you can furnish a 3rd bedroom.
You could, but
you
could. He hates 2 and under.
It's like another $500 for the bedroom.
He's not gonna spend
not even that. I mean, the bed frame itself. I get my bed frames on Amazon. $200. A mattress, $250. So you're at $450. What are you putting in? I put in each of my bedrooms, I put a long mirror, $15 from Walmart, a rug, $45. I like to do a bench, another $100. What are you, $600 to do a 3-bedroom?
So you saying your Airbnbs are 3 and under?
Huh?
You're not gonna do it.
3 bedrooms and under, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's where, Atlanta is a little different. Exactly. So, a lot of people, I wouldn't do a studio or a 1-bedroom just because I know what I can get off a 3-2. So like one of my 3-2s, if I was to put a long-term tenant in it, right, just for example, and all of mine are close to the airport. So I'm all within like 6 minutes of the airport, all of my Airbnbs. I would probably get max on that house, that 3-2, maybe $1,400 a month. Airbnb, I'm doing close to $6,000 a month on it.
Wow.
Is that net or gross?
That's net.
That's net.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. You have to have me revisit something.
Yeah. So I know you're doing the. I made a post that people gave me.
No, that's gross. I'm sorry.
That's gross.
Girl.
But either way, still.
But
I mean,
still.
Numbers though. But yeah,
my expenses are probably on that every month. I'm running anywhere between $24,000 and $3,000. So I'm still bringing home $3,000 a month.
On one joint. But it's free on that. So one property. That one property.
That's just one.
That seems still high though.
Cleaners, mortgage.
But the cleaning fee, I can pass that on to the guest though.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I pass it on, but it's part of. So if I made $6,000, that's including the cleaning fee in it. So then when I subtract cleaning fee, mortgage, utilities, cable, security, I'm right about. It just depends on how many cleanings we have to do that month.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, supplies, all of that.
You're able to make somebody's salary, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's still better than $1,400.
Right. When I got my job, I was making $500 a week at my job, like $440 a week. Right. When I was working my first. Before I left, when I left, I was making $700 a week, right? And so you're still making more than I was making off that one house.
Yeah, just one. Multiply that times 4 or 5.
Yeah,
I'm about to stand up another one, so that's why I said you could have stood. Nobody stayed in. Y'all would have had fresh new beds.
Hey, you know what? I didn't think about it initially. Plus, I wanted to be in the mix. But we got too far in the mix.
Next time we come to Atlanta, I want to handle the booking of
yeah.
Okay.
He probably will.
I be booked and busy though. Y'all gotta give me advance notice.
We let you listen. We don't even know in advance when we're gonna come.
That'd be the problem. Mine's not gonna come up on the profile because I open mine up for 3 months in advance. It's booked. Every weekend all the way through like where my October is booked. It's done.
So we they lie to me all the time on the Airbnbs. I always I'm renting a car, right? And so I say free parking. They don't have free parking. Like when I had in Buckhead last time I came, it was paid parking.
It was.
It said free parking. I only looked at free parking. But so listen. So real quick. So the post that I made was that the Turo bust is going to be ugly. What I say? I said I think that's the Turo, but like people went in on me like, oh, you don't know the business. You know, you're a little hater. You
basically made a post because Malik he'll put a post out and then disappear.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't comment on nothing.
Yeah, you saw
I saw it on Blacker Pockets. He wasn't even talking to anybody.
I saw Blacker Pockets shared it.
He didn't even say he wouldn't even come on.
Listen, my poster said that the Turo bubble pop is going to be ugly, right? And so I'll expand. I'll let people say what they're going to say. I'll do a video maybe, and I'll post it up. But I haven't posted it yet. But I do one.
You want my opinion?
I do know you have your Turo play with your joints. But yes, what is your opinion?
My opinion is it's gonna pop. It doesn't make sense.
Does not make sense.
Here's only reason I'm in it, right? Is because I wanted my Tesla, and I feel like I have to have an asset to pay for each one of my liabilities, right? So I was like, well, I want this Tesla, and I want the Model X, and that's gonna be $1,300 a month. So what do I need to do? I realized I can take my Jeep and rent it out, and my Jeep's paid for. Bam, I just made my Tesla payment. Even if I never rent my Tesla out, I could rent it out 1 weekend a month or 2 weekends a month, and then that would cover the note. But if I don't even want to do that, I could just put my Jeep on Turo, and that'll pay for my Tesla. Because I'm all for it. I don't want no more expenses. Like, everything has to cover something, right?
100%.
And then I was like, my mama got 2 cars. She don't drive. I said, I'll put both of them mugs on there and drive her car. Because I don't care. Yeah. It's not that serious to me.
The reason I said it is I understand that there are people making a lot of money in Turo today.
I get that,
right?
Yeah.
But you have people that don't know what they're doing. First of all, cars you're buying them way above MSRP, right? And you have someone with no business acumen going to the dealer and getting 5 cars in a day.
Yeah.
And like the barrier to entry is too low. At what point does enough random people have 5 or 10 cars on Turo?
Here's where people are saying, I saw people, and I wanted to chime in, but I just kind of didn't want to get caught up in Instagram today. But people are saying, well, what's the difference between Airbnb? That's the same thing people were saying about Airbnb. It's actually not. It's not at all, because you're dealing with 2 different assets. You're dealing with a depreciating asset, and you're dealing with an asset that appreciates in value. And here's the thing. I ask people this. I don't see myself personally being able to get into Turo heavy, right? Maybe a few cars that I paid cash for, I can put them on there, make the money on. But I don't see myself going to buy a fleet of cars because not a single person who has done it, and I know I have good friends that have done it, people I look up to, they can't tell me the exit. There's no exit. And if there's no exit, then it doesn't make business sense to me. And so unless somebody who has successfully exited from Turo can tell me the exit, I don't want to look at it. You can't tell me that this is an established business if you have not been able to show me anyone who has exited from it.
Because the assets are depreciated.
Yes. And they say, oh, well, we'll sell them. Sell them at what cost?
At a loss.
And how much loss do you take? Do you not know if you're going to? You don't know that. Oh, we won't take a loss. You cannot say that because nobody has exited from it. It doesn't make any sense. I know if I'm on Airbnb and I got a house, what am I going to do? If Airbnb doesn't work out, what's my next play? Long-term tenant. That doesn't work out. What do? Well, I know I better have enough equity that I can sell the property and get my money back. You can't tell me that with Turo. You just can't.
No,
they lying if they say they can't.
That's a great point that I think that I'll use a piece of that in my
yeah.
Definitely drop the mic. Drop the mic. Well, listen, I definitely appreciate that answer.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean,
makes sense.
Anybody can explain it to me where you can make money when you get out of it. I'm all ears. I haven't seen anybody be able to do it though. And I'm all for people making money. Look, it's good, right? But what we have to start thinking about is not just making money, but actually yourself as a business. And that mentality, when you change that mentality, you think of things differently, right? Because there's so many things you can get in that's just not here. I just want to make a whole bunch of cash, right? So you want to make cash on Turo. You want to make cash by arbitraging. You want to make cash on wholesaling. People don't want to put anything into it. They think that they're just supposed to make money and it's just going to be money without investing. And that's cool, right? You're going to have liquid, but you don't have assets. You don't have anything. You're just making money to pay your bills. Great. You're trading your time for money. I don't want to do that. I want to be having stuff that works for me when I'm sleeping. And that's just what it is. And Turo cars are not assets.
Turo cars. I've never in my life seen so many Lamborghinis in the street.
Yeah.
Everybody got a yours. Everybody got one.
And what happens when those get old and you still paying on that thing? I'm not doing it. Yeah.
Definitely buy Maserati. Maserati trash. But listen. But no. So now, let me ask you this thing: what gives you the audacity to buy 26 properties in 4 years? Like,
when you start with audacity, I'm like, you done asked me about my child's father. What the hell is he getting ready to say now? The audacity too. Dang, what gives me the audacity to do it? I feel like what's for me is always going to be for me. That's it. I feel like I realized I was in a meeting one time and I realized there were some people in there. We were in a real estate investment meeting and I realized there was people in there with 100 properties, 50 properties, 75. At that time, I maybe had 6, 7. And just like talking to them, I realized, dang, these people are not smarter than me. They're not. They're not smarter than me. So what did they do different than me? Like, what makes me only have like 6 versus them having 100? And when I realized that, I will preach this to the high heavens, that it's only about execution. That's it. It's all it is figuring it out, figuring out a way, and executing. Yeah, and people say, well, I don't have the money, but get the properties. The money always comes. It always figures itself out every single time. I have put stuff under contract and it, didn't have the money in my account to pay for it. But by the time to get to that closing table, the wire was there. So I'm always like challenging myself to figure things out, figure out different scenarios, and pretty much just execute. It's really just about pressing the gas and go.
Listen, everybody, they're not smarter than you.
They're not.
People are in the real estate business not because it's hard.
No.
They're in this business because it's easy. Everybody can jump into it.
Yeah.
And I will say, Miss Alexis Lee, I appreciate you.
No, I'm so glad y'all invited me.
Definitely. Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Oh, I'm so glad that y'all even felt me worthy to sit at this table with y'all.
It's
been great.
Got all up in your business.
Yeah, and I don't mind. I ain't got no secrets.
So
I'm washed.
All right, well, I'm washed. All right, everybody, listen, I appreciate you guys, for tuning into Cash Flow Bros. Myself, Malik Carter,
Justin Smith,
and with Alexis Lee tuning out. We appreciate you. Don't forget, passive income makes massive income.
Massive income.
I love that.